Yeah, good morning, this is Bang Bang Hill. I get a lot of people saying that listen, Lenny McLean is dead. Rest in peace, Lenny McLean. He was a mate of mine in lots of ways, you know. People think because I run him down, I don't run him down. I just tell it how it is, yeah. I met Lenny McLean years ago on one of the first fights I had when I fought Brian Hall and jumped up there in Lenny's hair. Yeah, he had the same sort of jumper as what I got on: black jumper, black hair, black shoes, black trousers. Lenny was about what, I don't know, 16, 17 stone. You see him if you look at Box On. You see him on that video as Box On as well. A lot of people say that Lenny was the best. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't the best. You know, he could have a street fight. Yeah, he could have a street fight. But I've seen him fight in the ring. I mean, I was supposed to fight him in the ring and he never showed up twice, but it's beside the point, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying, I've seen him fight, and there's people that have beat him easily, you know. But these people never get talked about, never ever get talked about. The guy Malcolm Peace the other day, big thing, met leg done Malcolm Peace and Lenny McLean. Malcolm Peace, I remember Malcolm Peace from years ago when I was in prison. Good fighter, mate. He could really march on. Fantastic fighter. He wasn't afraid of no man, knock any man out. He was a good fighter, mate. Lenny McLean, another good fighter, but he wasn't the best there is. He wasn't the hardest there was, yeah. He wasn't the hardest there was. The hardest person that in my times, when I was unlicensed fighting, at that time, was Cliff Fields. Very rarely they might do an autobiography about Cliff Fields. But believe me, Cliff Fields was the governor. He was the governor at that time of unlicensed fighting. Lenny had no chance with Cliff. Cliff beat him. I think Cliff beat him twice. I mean, Roy Shaw beat Lenny once as well. But even as a guy that never ever gets a mention, but actually there's two guys. It could even be three guys that never get a mention about being the hardest men of unlicensed fighting. Johnny Waldron. Look at Johnny Waldron. Johnny Waldron beat Lenny twice. I think he beat him in the first round and he beat him in the second round. And all accounts, not disrespecting Lenny, not disrespecting Frank Ryan, but Frank Ryan, this is how it is, this is how it's been said, that he paid Johnny Waldron to take a dive on the second fight. Johnny Waldron come out as he rang the bell. Lenny McLean ran over like a ball. He's a big, powerful man. Ran over like a ball, and all Johnny Waldron done was stick out his left jab, hit Lenny on the chin, and knocked him spark out. I think that was the second fight. Johnny Waldron never gets a mention about who's the hardest men in unlicensed fighting in them days, in my days, yeah, which was the 70s and the 80s, yeah. Never ever gets a mention. And yet, look at him. Look at Cliff Fields. He gets a mention, Cliff. Yes, he does, but not like Lenny. Cliff Fields was the governor. Maybe I never see Johnny Waldron and Cliff Fields have a fight. Different weight category, but even Johnny Waldron was different weight category to Lenny McLean, but knocked him out twice. Who else? Kevin Paddock. I fought Kevin Paddock. I drew with Kevin Paddock. Kevin Paddock beat Lenny easy. I was there that night when he beat Lenny. And he beat him easy. Another really, really hard man. Kevin Paddock, mate. Don't worry about that. The hardest man. Kevin Paddock. Stocky, short man. Good middleweight. Blew up to heavyweight. He fought, what, Kevin Finnegan? For the title, middleweight. He was sort of super middleweight, Kevin Paddock. But he can have a right fight, mate. Don't disrespect him. Even his brother. I'm not quite sure it's Sid Paddock fought Lenny McLean. But Sid Paddock was a heavyweight. He was a natural heavyweight. I'm not quite sure if he fought Lenny McLean. I'm not quite sure if he even fought Roy Shaw. I'm not quite sure. I know as a pro he fought Gardner, John O'Gardner, and Gardner beat him. I think he stopped him in the 4th round or 5th round. I'm not quite sure, but a good fighter. Sid Paddock, another hard man, never gets a mention. He never gets a mention at all. I mean, there's another man that I don't really rate because I've not really seen him fight, but I've been told about him as a doorman that he could really march on. Lou Yates, yeah. Lou Yates, he lost to Roy, but they say he beat Roy. They said he did beat Roy. I've done a lot of disrespects to Lou Yates, but when I read about Lou Yates was a hard, powerful man, mate. Nothing about him. And, you know, he was another powerful old man that I don't think Lenny would have beat, personally, myself. I've got one more here, Shaka, yeah? Shaka that used to fight Colombo loads of times. I believe that he beat Lenny. I believe that he beat Lenny as well. I've not seen it on the board. I was told that he beat Lenny. There's people out there on my comments that tell me, Shaka, that he also beat Lenny. They're on about maybe Lenny being the hardest man on the pavement. Is he? Is he the hardest man on the pavement? What about me? No one said nothing about me either. You know what I mean? I mean, I was supposed to fight Lenny twice and he never showed up. I've never bowed down to any fights. I've never ever bowed down to one fight. Never, ever. You know, I'm always there. I was always there on the night of the fight. Always, never ever bowed down. And I fought loads of fights. I fought loads of people. You know, okay that I'm not glamorized like lots of them are, but I'm on quite a few bills now. There's a few bills that I found, you know, that I'm on it with to fight Lenny, and I have my own shows and acts in Town Hall and all that. You know what I mean? I'm not. There's people saying, "Oh, you've never had a fight. There's no record of you this. There's no record of you that." So what? There is, mate. There is records of me. People don't look that far. You know what I mean? Don't forget all them people that we talk about: Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, Lou Yates, Cliff Fields, all them sort of people, yeah. Sid Paddock, Kevin Paddock, they come from over that way. It's the only people that don't come out, Sid Paddock and Kevin Paddock. You don't really talk about them, or even Johnny Waldron. But Johnny Waldron they should talk about because he beat Lenny twice, and he really was a good fighter, mate. He knocked Lenny out twice. And he is a good fighter, Johnny Waldron. They should talk about him more now than Lenny because he beat Lenny twice. Same as Cliff. I think Roy beat Lenny once himself. There was a lot of get-ups on these unlicensed fighting. A lot of get-ups, you know. What about what's his name now? I forget his name. There's another one. There's another fighter who could really have, but I forget his name. But I mean, when I was doing unlicensed fighting, believe me, I mean, there was a fighter called Lloyd Wolfram, yeah, a black guy, Lloyd Wolfram. He fought on the box on China as well, black guy. He could really have it, Lloyd. People don't put him up, but he could fucking march on, Lloyd Wolfram. You know, he could really march on. Colombo, another one. They don't talk about Colombo as much. I mean, Colombo was what? I suppose he was light heavyweight, cruiserweight maybe. But Colombo could have it, mate. People see him when he mucks about in the ring, but Colombo could have it. Another good fighter, Colombo. But another unlicensed fighter, Colombo. He could have it, mate. And nothing said about him, Colombo. I'm going to look up Colombo, man. I mean, I know Steve Izzy very well. He was on that video called Box On. He's doing all the exercises. I was there that day when he done all that in the Beckett. He lived just across the road from the Beckett. He looked after a school. He was a caretaker. Nice fella, Colombo, mate. But fit. He was really fit, Colombo, mate. He was so fit. I mean, that guy could fight for ever. Him and the guy called Chippendale, yeah? They used to fight every Sunday Every Sunday, Chippendale and Colombo used to fight every Sunday, without a shadow of doubt. And I think, I'm not quite sure where it was, Downham Tavern, I think, or something like that it was. There's a couple of other fighters that I forget their names, yeah, that I think one comes over from that way, Downham Tavern. I will check it out. There is, I mean, I just get a bit, when people say that Lenny McLean was the hardest ever in unlicensed fighting, he was the hardest guy. No, he wasn't, mate. Please, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was a very hard, powerful man, and it was a very. He got onto the steroids. He blew up to about 22 stone. Powerful, powerful, powerful man, but he wasn't the governor, mate. He wasn't the governor. Without a shadow of doubt, he was not the governor. You know, he got. I mean, I personally myself, yeah, I felt the governor who could have it on the street as well was Cliff Fields. The second one that I reckon he could have it on the street, I think, was Kevin Paddock. Kevin Paddock, another one, could have it on the street. He beat Lenny, and he said to me when I spoke to him on the phone, he said when he beat Lenny, he said he couldn't believe how easy it was to beat him. You know, he said the hardest one. He said when he fought Roy Shaw, he underestimated Roy Shaw, and Roy Shaw beat him on points. He said, I underestimated him. I didn't even train for Roy Shaw. But he said, Lenny, he said it was a walkover. Not saying Lenny would, listen, you can get, on a certain day, anybody can get beat. Anybody can get beat on a certain day, and one day you don't feel too good, you get out there, get it on the chin, but all over. You get some good fighters can get it on the chin and crash, get knocked spark out on the first round, you know what I mean? And they come back maybe a month later and fight the same guy, and then go 10 rounds and knock them spark out themselves. You know, fighting's a funny old game. Unlicensed fighting's a funny old game. But please, I don't think that Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw, they both got big names because they was around when it first started. Donnie Adams was around when it first started. Donnie Adams, Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean were the first ones really to do the unlicensed fighting. I got to know about this unlicensed fighting whilst I was in prison, and I wanted to come out and do it. Yeah, the same as Cliff Fields. If I'd have been out of prison at that time when it first started, perhaps my name would have come up. Everybody says they don't know who I am because I come from West London. Yeah? I come from Acton, West London. You've got to remember that all the unlicensed fighting started off in South East London, North London. That's where it started off. That's where all the unlicensed fighting. I moved from West London over that way to fight. Don't worry about that, mate. There's a lot of people that know me over South East London, Bermondsey, Lewisham, Deptford, Catford, Woolwich, over there when I used to fight over there, yeah. I used to live in Lewisham. I mean, there's a big thing, Jimmy Tibbett said I don't know his old man, and this and the other. Jimmy Tibbett's a nice kid, young Jimmy. He is a nice kid. He gets a bit carried away because I run certain things down that I shouldn't have done, yeah. Hopefully he's rectified that on another video he's just done. Hopefully he has, but if he hasn't, he hasn't. But he said he has. Listen, mate, Jimmy Tibbett, right? Me and Jimmy go back a long, long way. Jimmy Tibbett trained me really, really hard to fight Lenny. 2-3 times he trained me really hard. Sparred with Cliff quite a bit. I sparred with quite a few people, you know, pros, amateurs, or whatever it is, you know. My mate, I've got a mate of mine, a guy called Alec Jones, yeah, heavyweight, good fighter, mate. He was a good fighter. If Alec Jones, at that time, if he'd got into unlicensed fighting at that time, because he was more interested, he was a good amateur, they wanted him to turn pro, but he had family problems, so he gave up his boxing. Alec Jones would have been the same as Matt Legg as it is today. Matt Legg is what, 44, 45, maybe even younger than 43. Matt Legg, if he'd have been in them days, unlicensed fighting, maybe he'd have been up top. Maybe I'd have been up top with him, I don't know. With them both together, I don't know, yeah? But Alec Jones, listen mate, Alec Jones, come from Paddington. I believe that Alec Jones would have been number one. Yeah, I think he'd have been number one. He could really have it, Alex. Alec Jones could have it in the ring. I think he had about 60 odd fights, similar fights. Good fighter, mate. Alec Jones, I believe that he could have beat Cliff Fields. I believe he could have beat Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw, and beat me too. Good fighter, Alec Jones, mate. I've seen him knock people out, eyes are winking. I've just seen him knock 2 or 3 people out, no problem. No problem. Standing man and bang, bang, bang. And his gears can bang. Left, right, mate, he's powerful, powerful man. He's the one that should have been called Bang Bang. I mean, he could bang, mate. I could bang. That's why they call me Bang Bang. That's why Brian Cox, the actor, director, called me Bang Bang with Jimmy Tibbet, because I could bang with my left hand and my right hand. I was knocking him out left and right. That's why they called me Bang Bang. That's why they give me a record called Call for Cats. When I used to come down, it used to be Call for Cats. I wish, look, come on. I wish that that there was more videos, there was more phones about in them days. But imagine there'd been the phones about in them days, what there are today. I'd have been on it all the time, 24/7, But the shameful there wasn't, And that's how it was, Joe Pyle, with Roy Shaw, Donny Adams. I mean, when Roy Shaw fought Donny Adams in that big tent, that was videoed because people had the money to buy the videos in. Lenny McLean, you got Frankie Warren. Frankie Warren when he done Box On. Frankie Warren when he done Box On, look at that. He come forward like he's going out of fashion, Frankie Warren. From that video, he come forward, well, big time. Vic Andretti, I know Vic very well, I was trained at Vic Andretti's gym now and again. Spar with Lenny at Vic Andretti's gym. I mean, Vic Andretti, really, and Lenny McLean, hit the front from that video called Box On. And when I even seen me 6 minutes 9 seconds in fighting Brian Hall, I couldn't believe it that I was on that video, yeah. But it quite excited me, to think now I'm not only looking to see that video, I'm looking to find out the whole video. If I can get hold of the whole video itself, of all the fights, that'd be fantastic. I got a video when I was at Acton Town Hall. I had 2 shows down there at Acton Town Hall. The first, I forget the name of the first guy that I boxed in Acton Town Hall, knocked him out in the first round. Then I fought Colin Cracknell, which he hurt me a few times, so I knocked him all around the ring, yeah. But then both of them shows was videoed because I remember my promoter with me, Bob Coleman. It was called Hillman Promotions. Bob Coleman, he got someone to do the videos. He paid the guys to do the videos. They had a video shop in Ealing, Broadway. It's not there anymore. It was downstairs in the basement of a big house. It was an office down there. They done it. I'd love to be able to get the video, mate. That would shut a lot of people up. You know what I mean? Even though Acton Gazette done a big page about it, about me, Bob Coleman doing unlicensed fighting. It is on one of my videos that I've done. I've done 600 odd videos on YouTube. I mean, people, obviously people are not going through 600 videos, but there is a lot of me on there about me boxing in the Acton channel, and there's a big page of it. People say, no one knows you. Perhaps they don't, because the people that are saying it are maybe too young, I don't know. And maybe most of the fighters around about my time, I'm lucky, I'm still surviving, you know what I mean? But I've always trained, always kept myself fit. Most of the fighters are dead. Johnny Walson's not dead. Kevin Paddock's not dead. But believe me, like, I live in the country, you know, and Kevin Paddock lives in Southampton, Winchester way. I've been down there a few times to the boat. I should have phoned him up, Kevin, and just met him there and just done a podcast on the boat, yeah. But I'm hoping to go down tomorrow. I'm going to phone Kevin up later, see if I can get to meet Kevin down the boat in Southampton, get him to meet, sit him on the boat and do a podcast on there. I'd love to get Kevin. Kevin is such a good talker. Short, stocky, 23, 24 stone now, massive, big, powerful man. I love him to do, because I love him to talk about Roy Shaw. I love him talking about Lenny McLean. I love him talking about me. You know, it's more about that. I want him to talk about me, you know, a lot as well. But more so Roy, more so Lenny as well. Great fighter, mate. Great fighter, Kevin Paddock. Anyway, I think I've said too much now. But anyway, this is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please, if you like it, press if you like it, subscribe it, yeah. I get a bit tongue-tied first in the morning. But anyway, I hope everybody has a nice... I'm going to do a few more podcasts before Christmas anyway, or videos. I hope everybody has a nice Christmas. Listen, I'm trying to get down to a few places that I got robberies that I've done that I've been nicked for, and take videos of them and talk to you about what happened. I'm trying to get down to do it. It's not easy where I live. I'd rather go down by car and do it properly, do it as a robbery, video it as a robbery, you know, not doing a robbery, but as a robbery, yeah. And do it from there, yeah. Show you, because it's quite distances, some of the distances that we had to travel and what we done and that sort of thing, yeah. And where people lived that I robbed with and all that is now dead. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button to subscribe, and good morning, and have a nice Christmas.